Hi guys, wait, which one? 10 here. I have cleaned up the space. Hubby put this up for me. So it has all the little things in it. As you can see. Now I just have to get the little doodads to put here to say what's a what. So I don't have to keep pulling out, putting it back, pulling out, putting it back. That looks good. There's some old ones that I did. I cleaned up this spot. And I'll show you that is a Halloween little scene that I did a few years ago now. This is where I have all my stuff. Okay. Yeah, put my things up here. I did have a wreath up there, but the cats got at it because of the little thing they have around the corner to get up higher. Having some AHA water. Drinking all my stuff out of it. I have 2 of these. The other one, this part's missing now because it broke. So it's really not missing. Yeah, hubby got me this from Wish. Oop, where is it? Where's that one? Cute, eh? I thought I would use that to read you a story this evening. The story I'm going to be reading is the 3rd story that I wrote in my book. So as to remembering what it's all about, maybe once I start reading it, it'll click in. I have, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 stories in here. And I've started the 11th, but I haven't given it a title yet. So, let's see about this for you. There. How's that? Okay. It was darker than dark outside that night. The moon was new. The sky was alight with a zillion stars. That's how An expansive forest of barren trees stretched out before them. Harper was intoxicated by the view. Leo was easing his way back into her life. The tunnel is out there, Harper pointed. You enter from the cave. It will take us all the way to town underground. Where do we exit? Leo inquired. Into the Mitchell mansion. There's a door in the cellar by the cold cellar. That is where you end up, Harper informed him. You've been there before? He was curious. In my teens, yes, but not since. I'm not even confident it's still there. I've only heard rumors, Harper told him. You want to know if it does? I want to see the condition of the mansion inside. It's been generations since someone lived there. The family still owns the property. Then why don't they live there? They're paying taxes. Seems foolish to me. My ass would be there. Leo was always straightforward, a trait she admired in him. Well, your butt will be there, but not to live. I think it will leave you speechless. Harper smiled. I trust your word, Leo said. Then why didn't you a year ago? I told you the mansion was the mission house was dangerous. Oscar lost his mind in that place. He was never the same after that. There were so many rumors. I needed to prove them all wrong, Leo explained. You didn't have to take Oscar with you. He insisted on coming. It was easy. It was it that easy? Did you even care what became of him after that? Did you attempt to contact him or his family? You could have asked me. Harper gave him a questioning gaze. So what did end up happening? Leo asked. My guess is whatever he's seen in that mansion stayed with him. He suffered with nightmares at the start. Then he started seeing a man in overalls wherever he went. It was sad watching him regress. Who's the man in overalls? I have no idea. None of the Mitchells worked on the farm, Harper informed him. Maybe it wasn't a member of the family. Could have been someone who worked for them, Leo pointed out. So what happened to Oscar? He was placed in a sanatorium. He's out now. They helped him to overcome his paranoia. Harper turned to Leo. I'm not sure he should see you. I'm afraid all the advances he's made would be for nothing. She was honest with him. Are you dating? You seem very protective. I'm protective because he's my friend. There's no other reason. Leo, I'm letting you back into my life. Why do you insist on thinking like this? She shook her head. Bowing her head, Harper raised her eyes. You still want to go? She inquired. Yes, I do. I want to see how it looks now. When Oscar and I went, we used the road, Leo told her. Those roads have been blocked off for years now. Teenagers were driving up there with beer and liquor. So instead of driving, they walk it up? Leo laughed weakly. Yes, until the man in overalls made an appearance again. The kids swore they seen him staring out an upper window. After that, they stopped going altogether. That particularly helped Oscar. He hadn't lost his mind. He hadn't imagined the man. By this time, you had long gone from here. Anyway, shortly after that, a fence went up around the property. A year ago, 2 urbexers found the cave. They followed it and came out inside the basement. Did they see anyone? No. Certain rooms had been ransacked, while others hadn't been touched, Harper said. How about tomorrow? I'm anxious to get in there. Leo couldn't hide it. You can stay in the guest room, and I mean stay. Harper's voice was serious in tone. Leo took his luggage and closed the door behind him. Harper sat on her bed, remembering the past. She had always pictured them together, but it didn't happen. Over the years, she had come to a point where that was fine. Hang on. Harper stood at her bedroom window, gazing out over the forest. Her eyes adjusted to the darkness. Where does this overalled person fit into the Mitchell mansion? How come a cave in a forest ends up in their basement? Was there illegal hijinks going on years ago? Her eyes grew heavy and sleep she gave into. In the night gloom, a lantern emerged from the cave. Attached to the lantern was a figure in overalls. He stood smiling, knowing they were coming tomorrow. He felt the moment Leo set foot in town. He knew it was more than the mansion he had come here for. It was her. She was the main reason. The figure stood for hours, smiling as the night became darker before it became light. At the first gleam of the rising sun, He turned and disappeared into the cave. On the hill, Leo was showering, and Harper was waking to the sound of a blue jay close by. Leo helped himself to coffee and toast. "You're making yourself to home?" Harper stood in the doorway. "I thought you wouldn't mind." He stepped back from the kitchen counter. "No, it's okay." "Any coffee?" she asked. "Yes, and toast." He placed the mug and a plate on the table. "What time did you want to go?" Leo asked. "Me? You let me know when you want to," Harper told him. "In an hour." "How long does it take to get to the cave?" "A couple of hours." She couldn't keep a straight face. "Half an hour, that's all." He could sense the atmosphere change as they started out. Within the molding walls of the mansion, he moved, checking each room as he passed. The children were asleep in their beds, but there were no children. Mrs. Mitchell was in her room and Mr. in his. What he seen was all a lie, right down to the dog by the fireplace and the cat curled up on the armchair. He sat by the dog, warming his hands against the thriving fire. Flames leaped into the flue. The aroma filled the air. The logs crackled, sending embers to dance behind the chain-link screen. This was a place of love and family, joy and abundance, but now that's all gone. It dissipated as the mold grew. It crept up the walls, overtaking everything he knew. To him, the outside world was horrible. His entire life was this mansion and its surrounding property. He had seen this place in each season. She was splendid in them all. Snow falling where it should, leaves forming a colorful dress, spring flower a bouquet encircling its wonderful form, summer's warmth a treat. There he sat himself opposite the cat and dog. He tilted his head back, closed his eyes, and fell asleep. As he did, his figure slowly evaporated, as did everything else. The cave was wet with condensation, cold outside air, earth's warmth, very heavy smell of damp greeted Harper and Leo. It sent a shiver through their bodies. "I guess we just follow it to the end," Leo said. "Yes, just about. There's a door to the right. That's how we enter the house," Harper said. "I'd still like to know why they did this. I mean, wouldn't anybody be able to get into the house?" Leo wondered. "Not if the other side were locked, but I understand the question. Hopefully we'll find an answer." Harper smiled as they continued along. The cave was deeper than they thought, or Harper remembered. "You've been?" Leo inquired. "Yes, that was years ago now," she responded. "But I always remember the cave because of how bizarre this is." The cold damp was seeping into Harper's bones. She pulled her jacket closer around herself. "There it is," Harper pointed. "Through that door, and you're in." "You're not coming with me?" As Leo asked, the doorknob moved. The couple took cover in a dark recess of a rock wall. It was the man in overalls. He appeared to be just as solid as they were. With lantern in his hand, he traversed the uneven ground. They watched from the shadows as the light disappeared. "That is the man I've been seeing. He must be living in the house," Leo whispered. "It's our chance to get inside," Harper told him. "But if he comes back, we'll be caught." Suddenly, this didn't seem to be the brightest idea. "The mansion is huge. We'll find a place to hide. or another way to get out, Harper said. He likely knows this place inside out. He could find us out in seconds. Leo felt scared for the first time. We came all this way for nothing? Leo looked back into the tunnel. No, let's go. The door made no sound as it opened. They closed it gently behind them. Check your shoes for mud. Harper tapped him on the shoulder. They made their way up the staircase. They were now in the house proper. Wow! This is what I thought it would be like. The stairs had brought them in behind the main entry. The ceiling was at least 18 feet, if not more. A once grand chandelier lay broken in pieces. The cord had finally given out at some point over the years. Let's get going. I don't want him to find us here, Leo said. They made their way through the main floor maze. One hallway led to a room, which led to another, which led to another, and opened to a hallway. The kitchen! Harper couldn't hide her excitement. This is amazing. Nothing's been touched here. I could cook up some great stuff in that space, she told Leo. Nothing's been taken, he noted. Opening the fridge, he was shocked. There's food in here. He motioned for her to come see. Leo picked up a jar. It had the current year, with expiration date a couple of weeks away. It hadn't even hit them. The electricity was still on. Wait a minute. This fridge is cold. It shouldn't be. Harper was confused. Is the water working? Leo walked to the taps and turned the handles. Water flowed into the sink. The surface was clean. That guy's living here. Up another staircase to the expansive second floor. Wallpaper's peeling. Some vandalism, Leo noted. Only till here. The rest looks in good condition. Harper stepped forward first. Are you coming? Leo followed, peering into the rooms. Harper. She turned round and stepped back, as if they were just out for the day. The room was that of a young girl. The bed was made, including stuffed animals. The room was immaculate. Let's check the others, he said. A boy's room in immaculate condition. 2 more children's rooms. Lastly, the parents' room. Immaculate as well. Harper looked over the items on the woman's makeup table. Leo was looking over the tall boy. Harper looked up into the mirror. There, in the reflection, was the man in the overalls. Leo. Her voice was barely audible. Leo looked over and seen the man. He made his way to Harper. Why are you here? He asked. They asked. We didn't know anyone was living here. I'm sorry. No, he asked. We didn't know anyone was living here. I'm sorry, Leo said, taking hold of Harper's shoulder. Do you make a habit of breaking into places? He asked next. We didn't break in. The door was unlocked. You have no business being here, the man said. We'll leave. Please step aside and we'll leave. The man in the overalls moved inside the room. I knew you'd come. I remember you as a child. I heard you had run away. You came here to begin with. Harper looked at Leo. What does he mean you were here? As a teen, I ran here. Harper recalled the incident. You came here? She asked. The man answered, yes. He stayed here before he moved on. How come I never seen you? Leo asked. I know this mansion like the back of my hand. You never would have known unless I wanted you to. Who are you? Harper asked. Drew Mark. Why do you scare people away? Does the family know you're here? She further questioned. I worked for the Mitchells. The man simply answered, "But why are you still here? Do they know you're here?" "They don't know. That's the way it will be. Do you understand?" He inquired. "Yes," she replied, "but I'd still like to know. These rooms are untouched." "Follow me, and I'll tell you why." Against better judgment, they followed him to the living room. "So tell us," she said. "I promised John I would watch over the mansion. Their first child died from a fall down the stairs." "First?" Leo questioned. "Yes. The second in the lake 2 miles away. The third became lost in these woods. The surviving child moved away when he came of age. The Mitchells up and left. They believe the mansion to be cursed. I believe it was them. So why stay if they never intend to return?" Harper pressed for an answer. "The children are here." "They are here at night to be tucked in. I tell them stories and pray for their souls." "When do they come?" Leo inquired. "They'll be here by 9 p.m. That's bedtime." It was 50-50 in wanting to stay. "I make sure they're home. Won't be long till Mr. and Mrs. are home." He further said, "What do you do then?" It was an innocent question. The man came face to face. "I make sure they are comfortable. Their journey has been longer than the children's," he said. Harper realized this man hadn't lost his mind. He had been caring for the spirits. Off to the side, Leo watched a mist appear and quickly transform. The mansion was indeed haunted. The misty couple spoke to the man. "Your room is ready. The children will be home soon. These people won't harm you. No, they won't make you leave. I have seen to it. There's no need to worry. There is food in the kitchen and new linens on the bed." The couple floated into the kitchen. "Will they stay?" Harper questioned. "Yes. Now that things are done, they'll stay." "I can't thank you enough for your hospitality." The children's spirits bounded into the house. They were full of stories from the outside world. When they learned of their parents' return, their happiness filled the room. Once more united, they thanked the man in the overalls, then vanished. "Where have they gone?" Harper asked. "To their rooms." "So what do you do now?" Leo asked. "I rest." The man in the overalls slowly disappeared. He had seemed so real. But the food, why would there be food? Leo was confused. Entering the kitchen, things had changed. The lights no longer worked, and the water didn't flow from the tap. The fridge was empty. Curiosity took over. They rushed up the stairs. They expected their rooms to be a shambles, but they weren't. It's the spirit that keeps them warm. They heard all around them the voice of the man in overalls. Harper and Leo left the mansion, bidding all a restful afterlife. They smiled and walked away hand in hand. I hope you enjoyed this evening's story. I started to remember it as I was reading it. I would like to thank my YouTube family for coming by this evening to hear the story of the overalls. Once again, I hope you enjoyed it. We had a rather cloudy day here in Ottawa. Opening up the window, it was a bit chilly. As I said, I stayed inside. I had some tidying up to do. Now, if you're just passing through, please feel free to check out any of my other videos. If you find anything that you like, please give it a thumbs up. Drop me a comment. Share it out if you'd like. That's appreciated. While you're here, consider becoming a subscriber. And if you do, remember to click the notification bell so that you'll know the next time that I upload. And until that time, ciao for now.